What's poppin', y'all? It's Ghiman Mckinney, Juice G-Man, bringing you the Juice Alert once again. G-H-I-M-A-N is how you spell my name. I'm back here with another video for y'all, and you know I'm still repping them Green Bay Packers. Don't worry, guys. We gonna be back in contention. I'm telling y'all. You heard it here first. But either way, guys, getting back to the topic, we're gonna talk about, obviously, you know, the Patriots. You know, people are bashing, man, the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl once again. I'm a little kind of tired of it too. But, you know, I don't hate on great teams like that, you know, but you have to start thinking about it. You know, the Patriots Dynasty has been around for about 10, 20 years almost. Eventually, it's got to just go away. It has to go away eventually, guys. So, today I'm going to bring y'all teams that I think can, you know, not necessarily be the Patriots, but somewhat sort of duplicate their success, or at least have a lot of success within these next coming years, you know, based on the talent they have, the coaches, the quarterbacks, all that good stuff. So if your team's on this list I'm about to mention and things like that, just look out, because that means it's going to be a lot of wins and potentially multiple Super Bowls in the next 10 years or so, guys. So without further ado, let's get right to this list. Now, before I do get to my original list of 5 teams I think potentially could be Dynasty, I'm going to go with, you know, my 2 honorable mentions. Now, I think the Cleveland Browns, eventually, if they, you know, can get things turned around this year and have a winning season, I think I might add them, but they're not there yet. You know, I do think that the Houston Texans, you know, are honorable mention to me. If they get their offensive line is terrible and they don't have a great head coach to me, and their secondary is hit and miss, that is the reason why they are honorable mention. I do not believe in Bill O'Brien. Until Bill O'Brien proves to me he can be an elite head coach in this game, I think they're going to be held back year after year. They're not a step-up franchise. In the past, they've had teams that have been great that have underperformed in the playoffs. But Deshaun Watson is great. He's only 23. He has 53 touchdowns, I believe, something like that, through his first 23 games. He's dynamic. He's young. I think he's going to be a great quarterback and eventually a top 10 quarterback in this league. That's how much I believe in Deshaun Watson. And, you know, people want to rant about that playoff game. Peyton Manning got beat in a playoff game 41-0. So I think Deshaun Watson with those weapons, they do not have a wide receiver that is over 30 years old. They still have Jadeveon Clowney, who's 25. I think they're going to be right there in the thick of things. Also, the Dallas Cowboys are an honorable mention to me. Now, Jason Garrett is what holds me back. Jason Garrett, I think he's a good head coach, but I don't think he's an elite head coach. You know, he has 2 playoff wins in 8 years or something like that. You know, now the last 3 years or so, they have 3 division titles, and you know, they've been winning some playoff games. They've got 1 playoff win, but you know, I think their success is gonna, until they start making a couple more moves and, you know, add a couple pieces. You know, I think they're going to be kind of like this year. I think they'll win a couple of division titles every now and then. They'll flip-flop with the Eagles every now and then. But, you know, I just think that, you know, they're going to exit in the second round. I don't think they're an elite team. I think they're a very good team. They're taking some steps that Dak Prescott can continue to show improvement and growth. You know, I think that they can become an elite team. But right now, they're just a very good team to me. Not quite elite yet. But they're going to be there for a couple of years. A little bit. Now let's get to the 5 official teams. The Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he's the real deal. Set records this year. 50 touchdown passes. Offense is young. Mahomes, Hill, Watkins, Kelsey, not even 30 yet. They're going to be around for a long time. Now, just because they were great this year and Patrick Mahomes had a great rookie year does not mean they're going to win a Super Bowl. But they have a great chance to. Andy Reid has not won big games in his playoff career as a coach. That worries me a little bit. He's got to eventually start coming through and coaching better in these situations. Their defense sucks, but it's still very young in a few areas. And Patrick Mahomes on his rookie deal, you can make some moves. You can make some trades to get players. You know, you're not paying your quarterback a whole lot of money. Their division is not historically bad. I mean, the Chargers, yeah, they're good, but how long is Phillip Rivers going to play? The Raiders, what are they? The Broncos, they're there every now and then, but, you know, Kansas City, to me, is going to run that division. The Chicago Bears, to me, are next. Their division holds me back a little bit because, anytime you have Aaron Rodgers in your division, you have reason to be concerned. If we get our coach right, if we get a little bit better O-line, I think we're going back in contention. I really do. The Minnesota Vikings, they really, outside of offensive line and Kirk Cousins stepping up in big games, do not have a weakness on that roster. But the Chicago Bears, man, they're loaded. They're young. Their organization has shown the ability to go out and get players. They traded for Khalil Mack. That shifted the whole thing, the whole situation, their whole division, and their future. They went out and got Allen Robinson. They traded to get Mitch Trubisky. They have a good young defense. All areas of that defense, except a couple, are really young and really good. They have elite cornerbacks. They have 2 great young running backs. Matt Nagy, to me, is the coach of the year. In his first year as a head coach, 11-5, 12-4, something like that. You know, they should have won the playoff game versus the Philadelphia Eagles, but for a first year, that's a win, especially considering where Mr. Trubisky was last year. He's had tremendous growth. Now, he needs to continue to grow. I don't completely believe in Mr. Trubisky, but I do think the Chicago Bears are going to be right there. Up next, we got the Indianapolis Colts. They have the most cap space this year, guys, and they have a ton of draft picks, too. Luck is about to turn 30, but, you know, you look at Tom Brady, the new 40s, the 41 is the new 35, guys, as far as quarterbacks. Andrew Luck's going to be around for a good another 10, 11 years, in my opinion. This roster was 1-5. They were average at one point, and, you know, they still somehow made the playoffs. They were not supposed to make the playoffs this year, and they're way ahead of schedule. Frank Wright is a great head coach. They have a great GM that knows talent. They went and got Darius Leonard and Quentin Nelson, so they know how to draft players. They got young players all over. They peaked a year earlier, so that has reason for me to be optimistic. You know, they have a great youthful O-line. Probably the best offensive line in football, guys. If you saw with Drew Brees, you don't have to have a ton of weapons. You have to have a great O-line. Drew Brees, outside of Michael Thomas, who they got? I mean, they really don't have anybody else, but they have an elite O-line. And they were in the NFC title game and almost should have won that game. You know, but Luck has to step up. You know, Luck, you look at his playoff stats. I don't want to name them to you, but go look them up. They're not entirely great. They don't match up with some of the elite quarterbacks. He's going to need to step up in the playoffs, but I just think coach and quarterback, they got that right. They have Luck on a reasonable deal, and they can add a ton of talent. Man, Indianapolis in a division with Jacksonville and Tennessee, and the Texans are okay, you know, but they're not historically a step-up franchise, so they have reason to be optimistic. Now we're going to get to the final two teams. The Philadelphia Eagles are number 2 for me. They've already got a Super Bowl, so they've already checked some of those boxes, you know. They have potential to add another Super Bowl, I think. Their roster is full of players. Their D-line is great. Their O-line is great. You know, they were down in the dumps in that Super Bowl hangover this year, and they still managed to get the divisional round. And if Alshon Jeffrey does not drop the pass, I think they're in the NFC title game playing the Rams. This organization has a great owner. Doug Peterson is an amazing head coach. He turned this team right around time he got there. They already have a Super Bowl, like I said. Their organization, like I said, has shown they can go out and add players. They are aggressive. They went and got Jay Ajayi last year. They got Golden Tate this year. They went out and got Michael Bennett, Haloti Nada. They add strength to strength. They're just really, really good already, and they can already add players. And they have a great coach who knows how to coach. And, you know, the Peyton Manning effect, you know, that's what worries me a little bit with them. You know, Carson Wentz is a great player. They still have him on his rookie deal, but I'm going to go back to the Peyton Manning effect. Yes, Carson Wentz was the best player a year ago. Yes, he should have won MVP if he stayed healthy. But we've yet to see Carson Wentz in the playoffs. And, you know, dare I say, could he be Peyton Manning, where Peyton Manning is great in the regular season, but when he gets to the postseason, the first 9-10 years, he was not the same player. So you have to just pause for a little bit, say, okay, Carson, let's see what you can do in the playoffs. But I do think Carson Wentz will come through, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles, man, they're going to be piling up a whole lot of wins. You know, and last but not least, the Los Angeles Rams. Great young head coach. The best coach, in my opinion, not named Bill Belichick. You know, Jared Goff's on his rookie deal, so they can still make a couple of trades and moves. They're not paying their quarterback a ton of money. 62 touchdown passes over the past 2 years for Jared Goff. Todd Gurley's a great young running back. Their division's okay, but it worries me a little bit because, you know, you still got Russell Wilson there. You know, he's going to be there every now and then, but, you know, are they elite? No. Arizona, they suck. San Francisco's going to be improved in a couple of years, but I don't think they're going to challenge the Rams yet. And Aaron Donald's one of the 5 best players in football. He just is. They have elite cornerbacks. Perimeter weapons are young. They're young and great. I can see players being elevated in that system. So Sean McVay, because he's such a good coach, he does not need a ton of top-name guys to build this team up. I just think that, you know, with his coaching ability, it opens everything up. And Jared Goff, this organization also is aggressive, guys. You saw them. They went out and got a Marcus Peters. They went out and got an Ndamukong Suh. They got Nakeem Talib. They went and got Dante Fowler at the deadline. So, you know, when they need to be all in, they're all in. Everything up. And Jared Goff, he's the real deal. I have shown in these playoffs he deserves to be considered among some of the, not necessarily elite quarterbacks, but right outside that bubble. And, you know, they're already in the Super Bowl right now. So I have good reason to believe these teams can potentially somewhat, you know, match up with the Patriots Dynasty. Maybe not be the Patriots, but at least get a couple Super Bowl wins, a lot of playoff wins, and be in contention year after year. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. As always, go Green Bay Packers. But hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this video with your friends. I will be posting a video predicting the Super Bowl in a couple of days, so turn on them post notifications. I'll be doing throwback highlights, all that good stuff. But as I said, your boy Ghiman Mckinney, and I'm out here.